Hi, everyone. Sometimes organizations think they have an employee motivation problem, but what they actually have is a leadership behavior problem. And I know that may sound uncomfortable because in a corporate environment, it is often easier to blame employees. People are not proactive anymore. Nobody takes ownership, and employees also don't care. But I've observed workplaces over the years and I've realized something. Most people do not emotionally disconnect from their work overnight. Rather, it happens slowly. An employee shares an idea and gets dismissed. Someone works really hard, but nobody acknowledges it. A mistake happens, and instead of guidance, there is humiliation. A leader says, please speak honestly. But the moment somebody disagrees, the atmosphere changes. And after enough of these moments, your employees stop bringing themselves to work. And you know what's interesting? Many employees are not tired because of the work itself. Rather, they are tired because of the continuous emotional pressure around the work. And that is where there is a difference. People can handle pressure, people can handle deadlines, people can even handle difficult targets if you give it to them. But what slowly drains people is constantly feeling emotionally unsafe. Walking into meetings carefully, thinking 10 times before speaking, trying not to upset somebody, trying not to be misunderstood. Now, that is a kind of environment that quietly exhausts people. And the difficult part is, sometimes leaders themselves don't realize that they are creating this experience for their employees. Because leadership pressure is real too. Targets, deadlines, senior management expectations, financial expectations, and slowly some leaders stop leading people and they start reacting emotionally to pressure. Now the team starts experiencing unpredictability because of this. One day the leader is approachable, the next day the same question irritates the leader. One meeting he's collaborative, another one he becomes tense and aggressive. And eventually the team stops focusing on contribution, rather, they start focusing on emotional survival. And this is where organization lose something very valuable. And I'm not talking about manpower, and I'm not talking about talent, but rather trust. That is what they lose. Because trust is what makes people contribute freely. Without trust, employees may still work, but they will stop caring deeply. Now, some employees today are not underperforming because they lack capability, but rather they are underperforming because they're emotionally exhausted. And I repeat this once again, an emotional exhaustion is dangerous because it often looks like laziness from the outside. But on the other hand, the employee has stopped contributing ideas. He has stopped volunteering. He has stopped engaging energetically. And management assumes this person has an attitude problem. But sometimes the employee has simply stopped believing that their effort matters anymore. And let me balance this fairly. Of course, employees also have responsibility. Not every workplace issue is a leadership failure. Some employees resist accountability. Some avoid effort. Some become negative regardless of environment. That reality exists too. But emotionally intelligent leaders understand something important. Leadership energy spreads. An anxious leader will create anxious team. A reactive leader is going to create defensive team. A disrespectful leader is going to create silent team. And a calm, emotionally intelligent leader, he creates psychological stability. And psychological stability matters more than many organizations realize. People will perform at their best when they are not constantly protecting themselves emotionally. So the question is, what can leaders actually do? Sometimes the changes are surprisingly small. Listen without interrupting immediately. Correct privately instead of humiliating publicly. Acknowledge effort more often. Become emotionally predictable. And perhaps most importantly, create environments where employees do not feel that every mistake threatens their dignity. Leadership is not just about driving performance. It is about how you're going to shape the emotional climate of your organization. This emotional climate is going to become the workplace culture. This is what people are going to relate to, associate themselves with. At the end of the day, people may join organizations for salary, but what keeps them engaged, loyal, creative, and committed often depends on the leadership experience. Because difficult work rather, rarely destroys people. What slowly drains people is difficult leadership. And once employees emotionally disconnect, even talented organizations will begin losing something that they cannot easily measure: human energy. That's what I'm talking about. I'm Mansoor Danish, the CEO of Abira Consulting. In this series, we explore the emotional realities shaping modern workplaces: leadership, communication, workplace culture, emotional intelligence, and organizational performance. I hope you liked the video. Do remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching this video.